Bhaskaran, you make me blush. So, hope I can do this without my glasses. I'm coming into the 21st century, and this is my plan B. This is my plan A. So let's see if it works, shall we? So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my very great pleasure to be here and to address you today at this very, very special convocation, the 6th. Graduation is a turning point in your lives, and you've made it, but you've only made it to the beginning. Every single one of you here today has potential, incredible potential. I can almost taste it in the air. Whether your marks were the best in your class or not, whether you were the most popular person in your class or not, or the most shy, whether you were an athlete or a bookworm, it doesn't matter. You have huge potential. You can be a real success in your chosen field and in your life. You really, really can. The education that you received here at Goenka World Institute, Lancaster University, wow, that's a long name. It's a solid foundation. Now, what counts is what you do from today onward. When I was thinking about what I should say to you today, I thought back to my own graduation days in Canada. I got a couple of degrees, one, and then went right back to school. And then I went out and I worked for about a dozen years and decided I wanted something new and different. Went back to school at night and got another degree. So I had 3 graduation days. And every graduation day was just as wonderful as the first. So I thought about the things that I knew when I graduated before I went out into the working world. And some of those things turned out to be right, and others were wrong, or perhaps just right or wrong for me. So today I'm going to pretend that you are me back then, and this is what I wish somebody had said to me. So, Catherine, what's next? What does your future hold? If you're not sure what you want to do with the rest of your life, or where you want to be in 5 years, or even what to do next, don't worry, you are not alone. Many of your peers still aren't sure what they want to do with their careers. Some students see university as a major goal. I know I did. When in reality, it's just a stepping stone to other future life achievements. And it gets better and better. Part of the adventure is figuring it all out, starting with who you are, what you want, and what you value. You will receive advice, listen to it, and you'll be offered help along the way. Take it and be grateful. But you are the only one who can make the choices that are right for you. Make each decision one by one and give it your all. And remember to always be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of somebody else's idea of success and happiness. So, maybe you'll go on now to get a job or choose to go back for higher education. Most of you will eventually get married and perhaps have a family. Someday you might move to a new country or a new city for a year or forever. Some of you will do all these things and more. India is on the cusp of unprecedented economic growth and prosperity, and you will have the benefit of that. So let's talk a little bit about your career, and then we'll talk a little bit about life. And I promise that I too will underrun my time. Do you want a rewarding career? Well, If you do, choose to do something you love. If you love it, chances are you will be pretty good at it. Now, you can't expect to like every moment of your workday. Every job has its tedious bits. I sometimes do my own photocopying. But some of the most valuable experience you will ever have will be when you stick through something you don't like much until you've mastered it. And then, when you move on to something new and more to your liking, and you will, that skill and knowledge will be useful to you, maybe even priceless. But you can and you should expect your career overall to bring you real purpose, real satisfaction, and enjoyment. If it doesn't, change and do something else. So I've had that experience more than once. Early in my career, for example, I spent time evaluating oil and gas development opportunities, their economics, and to advise my employer, which was Shell Oil Company at the time, just what project they should spend their money on. So I must confess that I found it more than a bit tedious sometimes. I much preferred putting on my hard hat and my safety boots and going out and designing and building that gas plant than I did understanding the economics behind it. But today I learned something, and today I have a job that I love, working for Worley Parsons, who's a company who designs and builds those gas plants, among other things. And because of both of those experiences, I understand my customers much better. I know the economic factors that drive their business, and I know how to design and build that gas plant for them. And I do better at my job for that, and I love it all. Now, what happens if you make the wrong choice? Well, you start again. Career experts tell us that the average graduate nowadays will switch careers, not just jobs, but careers, about 5 to 6 times in their lifetime. Most of the time, it's going to be a normal progression of developing new interests and new skills over your lifetime that lead to new opportunities that you want to take advantage of. I switched several times from economics to engineering and design to project management, people management, business management. It was all good. After working for 11 years, I went back to university at night. In fact, my husband and I both went back at night and got a master's in project management. And I changed companies several times. And most recently, I moved to India. And it's not over yet. If that kind of change scares you, remember that risk is the price you pay for opportunity, and that you're only limited by the risks that you're willing to take. So, how does success come to you? Well, here are 3 simple rules to keep you headed where you want to go. Number 1, commit and go after what you want, or you will never have it. Number 2, ask, or the answer will always be no. I found that particularly helpful. And number 3, step forward, or you will always be in the same place. Opportunity comes to those who ask for it. And don't be afraid to say yes when it does come along. In fact, that's how I came to be in India. So, over your life, you will have triumphs, and you will have failures, and probably lots of both. That's part of everyone's life with no exceptions. None. And I've come to believe that there are virtually no mistakes that can't be mended. Although occasionally you do have to modify your expectations regarding the results. Focus on the goal, not on the obstacle, and never, ever lose heart. Michael Jordan, does anybody know who Michael Jordan is? No, probably not. Yeah. Well, he is probably the most famous basketball player in the world today. He makes about $150 million a year. That's almost 1,000 crores. And he says, and I quote, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeeded. He also said, and I particularly relate to this, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I cannot accept not trying. So most of us have to work hard for a successful career, sometimes really hard, but more important, you have to work smart. So what does that mean? Well, it means it's not enough to do your best. You must first know what to do and then do your best. On my first day of working, 30-odd years ago, my boss said to me something that I never forgot, and it stood me in very good stead over all that time. In fact, I couldn't forget because he wrote it down and he gave it to me on a piece of paper so that I wouldn't. He said, and I brought the paper, I'll tell you what results I need, and sometimes I'll tell you how I want you to get the job done. Other times, I want you to do the job in the way you think best. When a problem arises, try not to come right to me and say, When a problem arises, that's because I'm reading his words. When a problem arises, try not to come right to me right away for an answer and present me with solutions instead. Try not to say, sir, we have this problem. Say, sir, we have this problem. Here are the options I can think to solve it. And this is the one I recommend for these reasons. Catherine, I'm reading his words, if you want to stand out and you want a promotion, make my job easier. Remember, he was my boss. So I did just that. I did my homework, I read, I researched, I listened, and I thought things through, and sometimes I took risky decisions. I learned everything I could about my job, including how I could work best with my colleagues and my team. And you know, if you help them, they will help you. Golden rule. So enough about work. At this turning point in your life, I hope you're reflecting on what life principles you want to carry with you. First, have a belief system and live by it. In fact, live as if everything you do will eventually be known, both to your best friend and to your worst enemy. If you do that, you will always maintain your moral integrity. And you'll make the people you love proud to call you son, daughter, husband, or friend. Stay connected with your family and friends. They supported you through all your life so far, and perhaps sometimes you supported them as well. If they did need you, and you did support them, then you already know that there's no better feeling in the world than helping the people you love through a difficulty. In any case, you will likely come to appreciate them even more over time than you do now. As Professor Smith said, that was a lovely segue, thank you, never, never stop actively learning and trying new things. The day you stop, you will begin to grow stale and bored and old. Every few days, I still ask myself, how could I have lived this long without knowing this one spectacular thing that I have learned today? So that, my husband, and my hairdresser all help to keep me young. You have not lived your life well until you've done something for someone who cannot repay you. Try to leave the world in just a little bit better condition than when you came into it. How do you do that? 1,000 ways. Give money to a charity. Volunteer your time at a school for the blind. Help a coworker meet a deadline. Help a stranger get home when they've had their wallet stolen. Speak up when you hear someone spreading hate and prejudice. Like the Mahatma Gandhi, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. Spend your energy making things better, not complaining about the status quo. People often blame other people or circumstances for their problems, but the people who are the happiest and do the best in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they don't find them, they create them. But I haven't mentioned the one very, very important thing: have fun. Life is not all work, and not all career, and not all duty. You need to balance work and play, have hobbies and downtime. Scuba dive, learn yoga, build stained glass windows, learn to play the sarod, get married, buy yourself your dream car, laugh, fall in love, and definitely, definitely go celebrate this evening. This is your day. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Very good.